Hey, I'm Heather. Do you love yarn? Love creativity? You belong here at Strings and Threads, your go-to spot for crochet, knitting, and a fun, interactive community. Let's create together. Subscribe now and join the fun. Hi, welcome to the Easy Mock Bobbles crochet tutorial, crochet stitch tutorial. This is not only going to be a stitch tutorial, but it's also going to be a dishcloth tutorial should you want to do that, or you can just learn how to do the stitch with this one. So I'm going to have this in both of my playlists, the dishcloth and the stitch tutorial. I am going to be using cotton yarn, so I'm going to be using this Crafter's Secrets in lime. And then I had this orange, which I'm not really sure exactly what that is, but it's definitely a cotton. You could tell by the roughness of it. And I chose these two colors because I'm going to call it like a popsicle. It reminds me of a summer popsicle, so I'm just going to call it the popsicle dishcloth. So I'm going to change colors throughout it, but this is how you do the stitch. You chain in multiples of 2, plus 1, and then plus 1 for the base chain. So what I'm going to do for mine is I'm going to chain 22, plus 1 would be 23, and then plus 1 would be 24. I don't know why. I think that it just has to do with the wording of it. Like it would always be 2 stitches plus 1, and then the plus 1 is just for the base chain, but you know, basically 2 plus 2 in increments of 2 plus 2. So I'm going to chain 24 for mine. If you wanted to do this along with me, you can choose the multiple that you want to use, and then I'm going to come back. All right, here's my chain. And then after your chain, you're going to single crochet in the second chain from the hook and all the way across. So I'll just show you, that's the first chain from the hook. We're going to go into the second chain from the hook. You're just going to single crochet in this chain, and then for each chain all the way across. So in my case, I should end up with 23 single crochets at the end. But if you chose a different multiple, you'll have to figure out what yours would be. So I'm going to come back once I get to the end of this chain. Okay, I did a single crochet in each chain. I ended up with mine to be 23. So basically, however many you chained, it's going to be one less because you're using that one to single crochet in the second chain from the hook. So if you did 12 stitches to start with, then you should end up with 11 single crochets at the end. Now this is where the repeat happens. We're done with this. We don't need to do this anymore. So step 1, you're going to chain 1, then you're going to single crochet in the first stitch, treble crochet in the second, and then you're going to repeat that single treble, single treble, single treble until you get to the end of the row. I believe actually you're going to end with single crochet. And then you do steps 2 through 4, which is just chain 1 and 1 single crochet across. And then that's pretty much the whole thing. Then you just repeat steps 1 through 4. So let's get started. We'll start with step 1, chain 1, single crochet, and treble crochet or triple crochet. I've heard a bunch of different ways to say this. If you're doing a double crochet, you yarn over once. A triple crochet, treble crochet would be yarn over twice. And then you go into the stitch, pull up a loop, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2. It's very similar to a double crochet, just adding one more step. So then we'll single crochet in the next, treble crochet in the next, yarn over twice, pull up a loop, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2. I'll show you one more time and then we'll pause and finish the row ourselves. Single crochet, and then yarn over twice for the treble, triple crochet, whatever. Pull up a loop, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2. All right, finish this row, and then we'll just come back and reiterate what comes next. Okay, I'm to the last row. or last stitch of the row, I'm sorry, not the last row, the last stitch of the row, which is a single crochet. I don't know why that focus keeps changing. It is a single crochet, so I'm glad I added that there. And then step 2, I'll come back for each step just to make sure we're on the same page. Step 2 will be chain 1 and single crochet in each stitch across. So even into the treble crochets that we did before, we're just going to put a single crochet. So single crochet all the way across. And let's come back for step 3. Even though it's easy, we'll go through it each step at a time. Okay, here's how mine looks so far. I think some of my bobbles went to the back. That's okay. So then you just turn, and we're on step 3, which would be chain 1 and single crochet across. So I'll just do a stitch or 2 with you, and then we'll finish the row. So single crochet in each stitch across. All right, finish your row and we'll come back for step 4. Okay, I just completed step 3, and then step 4 is just the same. It's chain 1 and then single crochet in every stitch across. So when I get to the end of the row, I'm going to come back and show you. Okay, here's what I have so far. So if you wanted to continue with the easy mock bobble, you would just repeat this, and you're welcome to take a picture of this. I have like a whiteboard thing here, so I could erase this, but you know, this is how you start, and then you just repeat step 1 through 4 until you get your desired length. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue this tutorial for the dishcloth that I'm going to be making. If you wanted to come back in the next clip, which will be like just a few seconds from now, and see how this works up a little bit longer, then you're welcome to do that if you're only working on the stitch. But if you're working on the dishcloth, then we'll continue on. We're going to repeat this 3 more times, so there'll be a total of 4 reps of step 1 through 4. Step 1 through 4, step 1 through 4, 1 through 4, 1 through 4. Okay, so that's what we'll do next. We'll just do that off camera. And then if you're just here for the stitch and you want to see the stitch worked up in a few rows, then just hang tight and I'll show it in a minute. Okay, if you were just coming back to see how it looks after a few rows, here's how it looks. And I hope you enjoyed this video, because if you're just learning the stitch, this is where we end. But if you would like to continue with the dishcloth, then that will start right now. So we're going to change color. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the last stitch that I did. I'm going to show you the way that I like to change colors. So I'm in the last stitch. I'm going to get my second color ready. We'll go into the last stitch and draw up a loop. Do not finish the stitch. We're going to take the second color and just kind of latch onto it, and we'll finish the stitch with the new color. And then you can take your scissor and, I'm going to try and do this left-handed. Let's see if it works. You can cut the original color. Oh, it did work. Good. I wasn't sure. I'm normally a righty. And so now we're going to turn, and we're going to try a different stitch just to give a little contrast. So it'll be not only a contrasting color, but a contrasting stitch. So we're just going to chain 2 to start. And in this next round, we're just going to put, I like to capture the tails rather than try and weave them in later. I feel like they're more secure that way. You can weave them in later if that's what you would like to do. It's fine. This is just how I'm doing it. There's going to be 1 double crochet in every stitch across. So let's finish going all the way across with just 1 double crochet in every stitch, and then we'll come back when we're at the end of the row. All right, I'm all the way across, so now we're going to turn, and we're going to chain 2, put 1 double crochet in the first stitch. The second stitch is going to be a front post double crochet, and the way that you do that is, you can see this is the post for the double crochet. You would normally put a stitch right in here, but you're going to look at what the post is, and you're going to go behind the post and push the post forward like this. So you go in between the first and second stitch and out between the second and third stitch. And then you're going to just do a regular double crochet like that, so that it's coming forward. The second stitch is going to be a back post double crochet. And what we do is we come from behind. So you're going to yarn over, come from behind, and you're going to push down on that next post and go through. So you can see how that looks here. It's going to look like a front post in the back, but your crochet hook is going to go in front, pushing it to the back. And then you draw yarn through and you finish it like a regular double crochet. And we are going to complete this whole round like this, alternating. So we're going to do another front post, and then another back post. When you get to the very last stitch at the end here, you're just going to put a normal double crochet in the very last stitch. Okay, so this last post here, you're not going to count the chain, don't count the chain, but the last post here is not going to be a front post or back post. You're just going to put a regular double crochet into that. What I'll do is I'll go across with my front post, back post, front, and then I'll come back at the last stitch in case you want to see how that looks. So let's pause it, finish alternating front and back, and then come back. All right, I'm on the last 2 stitches, and I would think that even if you didn't use the exact same number of stitches as me, you should be ending your pattern the same way. The last stitch here is going to be a front post double crochet, and then the very last stitch here, you can see it's right above here, is the regular double crochet. We're not going to do front or back post, just a plain old regular double crochet. And then we're going to turn, chain 2, put 1 double crochet into the first stitch. We're not doing front or back post yet, so 1 double crochet. And then we're going to follow the same pattern we were. We're going to do front post first, so you go in between the post and put the post to the front. And then we're going to do back post, where you come from behind the post, yarn over first, and you have the post going to the back. I'll do one more set with you, and then we'll finish the row on our own. Front post, and then back post, come behind. And when you keep alternating between front and back post, and again, when you get to the end, this very last stitch is just going to be a regular double crochet. The very last post, not counting the chain, but the last actual post is not going to be a front or a back post. It's just going to be a regular double crochet. When you get to the end of the row, come back. All right, I'm at the end of the row. It has a really nice texture. This is really great for a dishcloth too. So we'll turn, we're going to do one more row with this color, and then we're going to switch back to the green. Chain 2, it's going to be the same pattern we've been doing. 1 regular double crochet in the first stitch. And then we're going to start with front post, where you bring the post forward, front post double crochet, and then the back post double crochet where you come behind it. And then we're going to alternate until we get to the end of the row. Come back right before you put the last stitch in. So finish up your front post, your last front post double crochet, and then hold off on the last stitch, and we'll come back and we'll change colors and we'll talk about how to finish this. Okay, I'm here ready for my last stitch. I did a front post here. I'm going to yarn over and make sure your color, the next color you're going to use, is ready. I'm going to come into the stitch, draw up a loop. I'm going to yarn over, go through 2, and then before I go through these last 2, I'm going to change color. So I'm going to get the new color and hook onto it, and sorry, it's a little slippery. Pull through. Okay, so that way we have the next color ready, and then I'm going to cut. Hopefully it works again with my left hand. I'm going to cut the color we just finished. There we go, it worked again. And now we're going to turn. Again, I'm going to crochet my ends in because I feel like it's more secure that way. And then I don't have to deal with sewing ends in later. Chain 1. 1 single crochet. We're actually starting here at step 1. So I'll come across here. We're going to single crochet in the first stitch, and then treble or triple, whatever you want to call it, crochet in the next. Remember, you yarn over twice, and then you draw up a loop, go through 2, go through 2, go through 2, and then a single crochet, and then a treble crochet, and we're going to continue this pattern to the end like we did at the start. We're actually going to finish it exactly the way that we started it. So you can see we did four repeats of this, which would mean there would be 4 bobble rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're not going to, yes you are, you're going to complete 4 full steps 4 times. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about the edging. Hey, I am back and I'm really happy with this. I love the way these look. So the next thing we're going to do, I'm going to undo this last stitch because I'm going to make my border the contrasting color. If you're not going to change color, you don't have to do this part of it. But what I'll do is I'll go into the stitch, draw up a loop, and then instead of finishing that loop with my main color, I'm going to use the second color. But again, you know, you can make this however you want. And then it's always a little bit tricky. And then I'm going to cut. Maybe I could do it with my left hand again. 3 times the charm. Yay. And what I'm going to do is just chain 1. I'm going to go around the whole project just evenly. There's not going to be a certain number of stitches to count. You're just going to evenly go around. I'm also going to crochet the tails in at the beginning part here with the second color. And I'm probably going to just leave it with 1 single crochet as the border. But if you wanted to, you could do a second round and you could have 2 rounds of the single crochet. So let me finish my round and then I'll come back. And here's the final project. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial for both the stitch and for the dishcloth. And if you like this, please consider subscribing and giving this a thumbs up and leaving a comment. It all helps my channel grow. Thank you so much. Bye.